Update when? That's the big question that everyone is looking for in terms of Grounded. You guys are desperate to play the PTS. I've been hyped, I've been jumping in Discord and chatting a whole bunch of nonsense with everyone expecting an update. We was hoping it'd be last night. The devs didn't stream last night at Casually Grounded. They did say last week they wouldn't be making it as they'd be coming back from PAX, and it looks like they want to make sure that no one maybe passed on any COVID from being at an exhibition at the weekend. But we did kind of hope that they would make the update live. Well, guess what? The update is going live, and it's going to go live today by the looks of things. Also, I'm going to cover a couple brand new interviews from Adam Brennecke, the creative director of Grounded, stating that the game is finished, the map is done. They're literally just adding more and more to it to improve it and make it better until its full release. And that 1.0 is coming, and it does look like Grounded is going to receive a whole bunch of support after 1.0. So if you want to hear more about Grounded with a little bit of an opinion, then make sure you're liking and subscribed. Let's go. So everyone's been asking, and it looks like they are going to try and release it tomorrow afternoon. Well, that was obviously late last night. So it does look like it's going to be dropping later on today. No exact time, but at some point today, Thursday. Although it has to be said, they have said they hopefully tomorrow. So there is a chance that maybe they run into a last minute snag or issue, and it might not definitely drop today. But that is the closest we've got to an official release date as of yet. The SteamDB, which charts how many release stages they're going through, has been very active in the last 24 hours. No less than 4 different times they've released it onto different builds. So I firmly do believe it will be later on today. Later on this afternoon, I'm guessing it could be anything between sort of 1 o'clock and maybe 4 o'clock in America. And remember, they're on Californian time, so that could mean something like 10 to 12 UK time. Basically, very late evening. I'm hoping it might be earlier. If it's really early, like 1 o'clock, then it might only be around 6 or 7 o'clock in the UK. I did a poll and nearly 400 of you guys voted. 65% of you are hyped, 3,000 for this update. Surprisingly, only 20% of you are just about hyped. I still see a little bit of negativity about this update. People saying it's not a big update. Or why hasn't it got biomes? Honestly guys, what do you want? We've had biomes added with every update, and people just rinse through that content in the space of a few hours. Give us an update that adds more replayability, a chance to get extra science points, revamping combat and armor. That is a chunky update in my opinion. So I can't wait for this. I've obviously been hyped and excited, showcasing all the stuff and giving you my thoughts and opinions about what to expect. And I'll be there first to let you know. As soon as the PTS drops, I'll either do a stream or I'll let you guys know in a video. Of course, do remember, you need to be part of the Xbox Insider program if you want to play the public test branch version of Grounded. And if you're on Steam, you have to right click, properties, betas, and then click the adjacent one once it pops up. You do sometimes need to restart Steam, so as soon as you see it officially on Twitter or through Discord, make sure you follow these steps and restart Steam just to make sure it does pop up. It should be a small update, and as ever, if you are on Steam and you're able to, make backup saves. Adam has been retweeting a bunch of interviews that he's been given to news outlets, and there was a couple yesterday that had some really good stuff. First off with The Gamer. They spoke about the defences, and we know there's going to be literally 2 different types at least, utilising the mixer and of course new factions. Basically when you piss off the red ants by going into their hive or taking their stuff or maybe killing them, there will be a bar that kind of fills up. Maybe not even shown, but there will be something, and eventually they're going to come for you. I can't wait for this. Honestly people, I've played over 100 different survival games. Games with big open worlds and sandboxes to play in. And nearly every time there's some sort of base defense component in it, it really enhances the gameplay and gives you something more to do. It can be a bit annoying like Valheim, but in this case it looks like so much of it is optional, and again the devs have said you're going to be able to turn off the faction based defense system. So if you just want to play your game as always, you won't have to worry. Anyhow, in this interview Adam pretty much says that when they started out with Grounded, their bases were pretty tiny. But in the first month, players were building huge, massive things, and that's when they started to really look at different ways to add more to base building. 1.3 won't be the final update before launch, but they're not too sure how many updates there will be, so it could be even sooner than I've been assuming. I've pretty much been stating that I think it will be July, the 2-year anniversary, or maybe actually August, if you don't include the demo at the time, I do believe. But if they have another update in a few months, it looks like Grounded might not actually go 1.0 until winter. These features we definitely want to get more feedback on, so that could mean we see a longer PTS. In the past they normally run for 1 week, the maximum has been 2 weeks, but you never know, they may actually extend this for a bit longer just to make sure everything's okay. Adam has said that if he had a choice he would do early access every time because it's so good getting feedback from players And Adam Spurlock joined in, the team's lead animator, saying it shows us where we need to focus. When we see the public saying that needs fixing or that needs improvement, we see all that stuff and you can see what players are energised with. Their community management team, Eric and the rest of the gang, give them feedback every week, and that's really, really special for them. Adam does say that some features he knows the team want to work on more and get it in a more solid shape, but he knows that that time will come with more tuning, more maybe bug fixing towards the game's full release. Adam has said that the launch is going to be the game they're proud of. The yard's fully finished, the story's fully finished, but we still want to make Grounded the best game. Adam said they're going to get feedback about the story and ending before the team create the next roadmap for the future. And this is the crucial bit, which is something slightly different from what I've heard Adam talk about in the past. As long as studio head of Obsidian Entertainment Fergus Urquhart lets me work on Grounded, I'm going to be working on Grounded. If we show that we're committed and passionate about continuing to make the game, even past the launch date, the fans and community super appreciate that. They appreciate our dedication to make the best game possible, and it's something we believe in at Obsidian, and we're going to continue to do so with all our products, and Xbox will allow us to do that too. Now, like I said, slightly different. Adam, when he was speaking in the Casually Grounded a few weeks ago, was a little bit more non-committal when asked. In fact, he didn't say negatively, he just said he's going to wait till 1.0 comes out. They've got so many other ideas, but they obviously want to see where things are at and see how everything's received. He did also say though that he has ideas sometimes, so I don't know, I felt it kind of read a bit like he wasn't going to 100% commit to saying they're going to add even more or do big things. Like they've always said they're going to support Grounded past 1.0, but the expectations of what that content could be very different. It might be just bug fixes and small few little minor updates, or it could be once a year getting a big giant update. That's like a new yards or even DLC. So good little interview. This next one is pretty much along the similar lines from Shack News. This time they were joined by Shida Schofield, the community management team. Adam says they actually have 3 modes for the base defense, or 3 different kinds of game modes, game types or different scenarios. The first one, the one we showed off on the panel, is our mix.r point defense. So we've seen them placed around the yard. You'll have to defend the point once activated from certain groups of creatures, and then you get some rewards like science points after. But then he doesn't actually elaborate on the next 2, so we know one of them's faction based. But what could be the third one? Maybe I've missed this, maybe it's already out there, but if they've got the actions of the creatures getting more angry at you, and we've got the mixer, that does mean there's another third version of it. What does that look like? Could that be just a case of creatures coming to attack you to take your food like it used to be with the ants? It's an interesting one that they didn't elaborate on further. Unless they are talking about just the improvements to the AI and how they'll be able to jump between different surface points. And again, they have iterated. There's more than the burrweed bomb. There's going to be a lot more going on. And now that we know there's a honeypot added to the game, it does look like the honey traps that I've been showing you for years now, they will be fully implemented. There's some other stuff that I've already gone through, like the charcoal torch and canteen, and lots of quality of life issues they talk about. Obviously, the mixer can be done single player or with your friends, but there is scaling. The more players that are on, the harder it will be. I definitely want feedback on whether it's going to be challenging or not challenging enough. And I really do want you to join the Discord. I've got to say, it's probably one of the better run Discords. It's not filled with too many tryhards. Although if you go ahead and spend too much time in Super Backyard Secrets, you will come out wearing a tinfoil hat. Also, apparently everyone hates YouTubers, even though we're the guys that leaked 90% of all the stuff you've ever seen. And that's the stuff that everyone in this channel talks about mostly. But I actually love it. I love speculating. I love talking about possibilities. And that's because Grounded is such a great game and it has got a really good community around it who are passionate about it. So yeah, come and join Discord. Join the Super Backyard Secrets chat and you'll get a whole bunch of stuff going on. So even if you're not going to be downloading the public test branch, maybe because you don't want to, you'll still be able to read about it and get prepared. I will leave the link for the Grounded Discord in the comment section. So one big feature is that the mix.r events can't be replayed right now. You get the reward and go on to the next one, but they're all different. So there is different environmental challenges. Obviously we've got one in the sandbox and you might have to do it at night time just because of that extra challenge. Bit sad they're not replayable, but it does mean that hopefully they're thinking about something like that in the future. We know that boss fights will be replayable in the future. That's something they spoke about too. As they kind of tease that we would be able to get different parts of armor sets, like the Broodmother's mask. We might be able to get certain stuff to go along with that if we keep replaying that boss fight. Obviously with the rewards giving such a big amount of science points, I can see why they don't want it being replayed, as I'm sure players would find easy ways to cheese and then just blitz through the game because they'll be able to unlock everything with science. But then again, I would still like there's something to be done. Maybe in the future, even if it's cosmetic stuff, or achievements wise, complete, this mix.r challenge 5 times, get an achievement and maybe a new skin, or maybe even a profile picture on Xbox or something. They've said also there is one in the haze, so this is what you need to do. Go and turn off the gas, get ready. But it does say here it will change depending on whether or not you've turned it on or off. They're also going to add more of these in the future, but they haven't placed any of the mixers in the upper yard yet because they're going to be making adjustments to the system before they add any more. Apparently the AI for the creatures makes them much more smarter. They're going to be attacking your base in different ways. The aggro is going to be changing on a lot of them. And also strafing behaviours are going to be changing. And of course with the jumping ability, it makes combat a whole new prospect in Grounded. They also go on to say that they love the idea of jumping creatures, and again, I know not everyone does, but it looks like you will be able to mitigate some of this, or put some base defences up. So apparently the charcoal based items is going to be like another little bonus tier. It's by the time you've got there and got the charcoal, it's like the next run to improve some of the stuff you've already got. Also, we covered this, the torch will light up bigger areas, and the canteen will allow you to drink dirty water. They speak also about the ASL system. Obviously, you'll be able to access the Burgle Quest, Science Shop, and more from any of the points now. Adam says, I think it's one of them small changes that no one asked for, but I think it's one of the things that as developers, we see how people are playing. We're like, yep, this is not desired behavior. Adam, I think we all wanted that. It gets a pain in the butt having to go back to the oak tree every other day. Either way, a great addition. So we are going to have to go back to Burgle, and if we've got Burgle chips, we're still going to have to give them to him directly. We're not going to be able to activate the new items first. Obviously, they speak about the custom settings being changed, how you'll be able to do it on the fly, and that's fantastic. And they've also got the PEEP card system now, where we'll be able to earn and get some of the gold cards. But remember, you only get the gold cards by actually killing the bugs. And it's a very small chance, like 0.1 to 2% at the moment. In the future, they will have some rewards tied to them. There's going to be gold cards for every single one of the creatures, but you will always get a gold card for bosses. You only need to kill them once and it will be a gold card. And that's it. The last question was about what they're doing. 1.10 is obviously their focus. They're working on the final adjustments, and they're going to be fleshing out the upper yards with new content and biomes. They also say that they are working obviously on the resolution of how you got here and how you're going to get home. So there we go. Great stuff. Morgan Shavers, the interviewer there. I think that's a fantastic set of interviews, fleshing out what we knew already from PAX, covering the Q&A sessions and more. But I'm super excited. Honestly, I think this is going to be one of Grounded's best updates in literally maybe a year. Everything they've done has been great. I've not really had a problem with it. I know everyone gets super intense about things being changed, but that's what early access is for. But this is the one. This is the one I've been looking forward to for such a long time. Base defenses to give me a reason to keep replaying, test things out, and make my bases actually worth defending. So as soon as we get any news about that, like I said, I'll be there, and I'll see you for the PTS, PTB, blah, 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 blah. And I'll see you guys later on for the launch.